I myself feel very energetic and positive. And with this positivity and energy, we'll head towards today's session. You all know today's session is all about the technology, which is called a hotcake nowadays. Yes, I am talking about data science and its applications in IT's industries. Viewers, if you have any type of questions regarding data science or career opportunities
I
in this
myself feel
field,
very energetic and
please
positive.
and with this positivity and energy, we'll please feel free to write it in the chat box. Or if you are viewing this from YouTube, then please write it in comments. We'll take those queries during the session. Now, data science is an essential part of any industry today. Given the massive amounts of data that are produced, it is one of the most debated topics in the industries these days. Its popularity has grown over the years, and companies have started implementing data science techniques to grow their business and increase customer satisfaction. Understanding this crucial topic by an expert will help us all getting into the roots of data science and what is the benefit of becoming a data scientist. So, the expert we have today is Mr. Ankur Jain, sir, project lead, data scientist, application architect at IBM India Private Limited. He has total duration of 15 years, 4 months with IBM India Private Limited. From November 2005 to December 2007, he was application developer in IBM Private Limited, Bangalore. From Jan 2008 to December 2012, he worked as a team and technical lead in IBM Indian Private Limited, Gurugram, India. And currently, he is working as a project lead data scientist, application architect since January 2013. Mr. Ankur Jain is a gold medalist throughout his academics and during his job. He got so many achievements in his career. Some of them are he is IBM certified IT specialist. He is top talent technical resource award recipient. He got a Deep Skill Adder award recipient for 5 quarters. He achieved a Six Sigma white belt. He honored as a quality ambassador, process, methods, and tools awareness and competency evaluation. He received IBM Certified Cognos 10 BI Author. He received IBM Certified Cognos 10 BI Professional and Certified Designer Cognos 10 BI Reports, just to name a few. With this introduction, now I would like to call the eminent speaker for today's session. Welcome, Ankur, sir.
Thank you, Ria. Thank you, Ria, for the wonderful introduction. It was really, really nice. So, okay, and good morning to everyone on this Zoom meeting call, and hope everyone is staying safe and fine. So, okay, so before starting today's session on data science, like I would like to thank like the head of institute and like the head of department and the cell coordinator for computer science club of Prestige Institute, right? So it's providing me an this opportunity to share my expertise knowledge on data science, like one of the hottest topics in current times, right? So okay, so before starting this session, like I will just give you an overview, like what we will be doing in this today's session, and so I will be just taking you through some of these slides, like on the data science, like the overall process, and then we can go through like what are the prerequisites for becoming a data scientist, right? And what are the fields where you can explore your explore this skill set, right? So, and then we will come up with some few questions from the participants, right? So, okay, so what I will do is like I will just start sharing my screen, and we will get started. Okay. Okay, so let me start sharing my screen. Okay. Okay. So can you just confirm like if you are able to see the presentation and like my voice is audible enough, Ria or Mahendra?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are getting clearly, sir. Your
Okay,
voice.
okay, good.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, so as you are aware, like our today's session is on data science and its applications in multiple industries, right? And mainly focus on information technology. So, okay, so today, I'm just starting my like presentation for today's session. Okay. Okay, so I think the first question, like in everyone's mind, is like, what is data science? Like we have heard like a lot of things, and we Google and we find it like a lot of stuffs on YouTube. So, but what is the essence and what is the actual definition of data science? So, So this is what actually I have come up with my definition, like from all my experience all through the years, right, in IBM. So, okay, so if you see, data science is a combination of two big words, right? So data and science. So both are like big words in themselves, right? So one is the data and the second is the science, right? So data is nothing but, again, like it's a facts and statistics, like which are collected together for reference or any analysis, right? But again, like if we merely using that data isn't really what we call as data science, right? Okay, so if you see any data application, right, it acquires its value from its data, right? And then this data gets created, like it keeps on increasing, and it becomes, as a result, it becomes a data product, right? So once you are in a data product, okay, so science like that is applied to that data, and which enables the creation of these data products. Okay, so that is, in true sense, is called a data science. Okay, okay, so it comes from like a data, and then once it's become a data product, so the science which enables this transition is called data science in overall process. Okay. Okay, so in the right hand side, like I've shown a like a diagram, like which clearly shows the essence of data science, like what exactly it is, and so that you can correlate like what we are talking about. Okay, so it is like fundamentally an interdisciplinary subject. Like when we say interdisciplinary, like it involves like a different subjects to club together, so that it comes as a data science, right? Okay, so I have clearly mentioned about the three distinct and overlapping areas. Okay, so you can't take out one area and claim as a data science, right? So it should be all interlinked and overlapped in a, or all like in a big scenario. Okay, so the first one is like the skills of a statistician, right? You should know like how to model the data, how to summarize the data. Okay, because data is growing like larger, and it's growing like each day, right? And each hour, like it is growing like huge volumes, right? Okay, so you should one should be like a statistician to understand and to model that large set of data for a data science kind of role. Okay, then you see like you need to be a computer scientist. Okay, when I say computer scientist, like it's like you should be aware of some algorithms, some programming languages, right? Okay, so that you can effectively store that data, like, and then to process it. Okay, and then you can visualize that data. Okay, so that is this is something you should have, like for a computer scientist. Okay, so you should have something on the learning background, right? Some computer algorithms or some like computer languages you should be aware of. Okay, and that is more specific to the data science. Okay, so okay, and the third and the important part is like the domain expertise. Okay, you should have like a training, or like you should be something like expert on a subject like where you are working on. Okay, so because there are like many subject areas and domains like where data science is used, but again, like you need to focus on the area like which you are working on. Okay, so like I'm working on the business module of like our like IBM, right? So I just need to focus on the business analytics and the business overall processes and all those. Okay, so if you are in a banking domain, or like you are in let's assume finance, telecom, communication, right? So you should focus on that, you try to get that domain expertise on that area. Okay, because getting everything to learn, and it is not possible to learn each and everything, right? So it is like mostly you need to formulate your right questions, and you need to put together those answers in context, so that you can deliver like what is expected from the business. Okay, so in the diagram, if you see like data science is in the middle, like it is overlapped, right? So it is like overlapped with the computer science, and then we have statistical mathematics here, right? And then we have business component out here. Okay, so all these components and this overlappings create a new stream, like a new set of skill set, right? That is data science. Okay, okay, so with this in mind, like all this like the essence, right? Three essence of the data science. Okay, so I would encourage you to think like of data science as not as a new domain of knowledge, like you are learning something new, right? it is about a new set of skills that you can apply within your current knowledge of current area of expertise. Okay, so it's just about learning new skills. Okay, it's not about a new like a domain altogether. So it's about learning new skills and then getting it applied to the correct areas. Okay, so whether like you are reporting on anything on like forecasting stock returns or like optimizing online ad clicks, or like it will like you are working with any kind of data, okay, in any other fields. Okay, the goal should be like you should generate this ability to ask questions, right? You should keep on asking questions and meaningful questions, and okay, and get those answers, and get answers from those questions, so that you can finally implement those correct solutions at the end. Okay, okay, so this is the overall essence of like what is data science, and what exactly we need, like what kind of subject areas are incorporated in becoming a data scientist, or like working on a data science kind of thing. Okay, okay, so just to conclude on this slide, like one should be like a statistician, like who can model the data. Okay, and the second is like you should be a computer scientist, or like it should be a computer programmer, we say. You should have like something to program, or like it's like as a machine learning or whatever algorithms you want to learn. Okay, and then you should gain the domain expertise. Like once you are in some business, you should be able to get a class, like a classical training, or like you should become an expert on that domain. Okay, okay, so that was on the just a like an introduction on like what is data science overall. Okay, okay, so now just moving on to the second slide. Okay, so what is then the second question comes, like what is the overall process, like data science process? How do we okay, okay, so I have just come up with this overall like a 5 stages. So these are small very simple stages. Okay, then we can go to a detailed one on the next slide. Okay, so this is just to understand like what we do with the data in like in the overall data science process, right? Okay, so on the right hand side, first like first screenshot, or like a first picture, like you can see like there are 5 steps defined. Okay, it is like obtain, scrub, explore, model, and then interpret, right? Okay, so first process is to obtain obtain, right, or capture. Okay, so that is nothing but again capturing the data, and like what is like it is a data entry, doing data entry, or whether it's a signal reception, or like it's a data extraction. Okay, so it's all about like obtaining and capturing the data at the first stage. That is the basic thing for data science. Okay, now once we have the data, then we do like a scrubbing or maintaining that data. Scrubbing is like nothing but cleaning that data, because we get a lot of junk of data, right? So we need to understand like what is needed and what is not. So okay, then we need a warehousing, right? So we need to store that data in a data warehousing, do the data cleansing, right? And data staging, like, or so it's all about like processing the data, raw data, what we have obtained in the system. Okay, then the third point is like the explore and process. Okay, once we have this data saved in our warehousing and all those, we start the data mining, and then we classify the data. Okay, this is the different like giving different attributes to the data, and then we start data modeling. Like once we have the data, we start modeling that kind of data, and then summarize the data based on business requirement. Okay, so this is the third like important step. Okay, now the fourth one is like we need to model and communicate that information. Okay, so once this data is like we have modeled the data and all those, then we need to do the data reporting. Like we need to visualize. Okay, because until unless we do the visualization, then there is no point of storing the data, and until unless it is useful to anybody, right? Okay, okay, so then there we apply some business intelligence tools, and then decision making processes depend on the business guidelines, right? So okay, so this fourth step is very important, like, because here what we do is like we actually show this data to the outside community, right? From the warehouses, right? So okay, and the last and the final step is the interpret or analyze, right? Okay, so once we have the data, like what to do, right? So that is the most important thing for the business to take that data, and then explore that data, and then do some predictive analysis, and then some regression testing, or like the test mining, and then do some quality analysis on that kind of like data, on like the like that reporting what we have that has come out of the system, right? Okay, so this is the simple like a process, like obtain, then maintain, and then explore, model, and then interpret. Okay, so in the second screenshot of the right hand side, like I have just like shown, like I've just shown the real world example, like what we what exactly it is mean by the. Okay, so if you see here, like in the real world, okay, so if you see in this, because everything comes from the real world data, right? Okay, so once we have the raw data collected here, right? So once we are done with the raw data is collected, then the okay, so let me minimize this one. Okay, okay, so once the raw data is collected, then the data is processed, as I mentioned in the second, third step, right? So once the data is processed, then the data is clean, right? What I mentioned is like we need to clean up the data, whether it's like the data is, we need to remove like all the unwanted data and come up with the data that is required for the business to manage, right? Okay, so once the data is clean, then again what happened is like it is the data is again explored, or it is for further analysis they are doing out here, right? Okay, so if that is again something raw data is still needed, then again that's analysis data is again fetched as a raw data, and then again it comes as a process, and then again the data is in cleanup. Okay, so this process keeps on iterating like every time. Okay, so again, like if clean data can also be used for like it can be like once the data is fine, then it can be fed into algorithms or statistical model, right, to generate the visualization or like reporting or communication and those kind of report findings. Okay, so this is all done like when the data is clean and when it is processed through all the like it went through all the statistical modeling and then kind of approach. Okay, okay, so once we are then the data product is built. Okay, so because in the data science definition we said like the data science is about building a data product, right? Okay, because until unless the data product is done and built up and it is useful, then only it is like it is of worth to use that data product. Okay, so once this data product is built up, then again it is sent to the real world. Okay, then again because it is real world, again like it is used by the businesses and it is used to explore the different options and different findings of this data mining process, right? Overall, okay, so this is the overview on the data science process, like how do we so each step is itself a big play a big role in overall data science process. So okay, so you should be aware of the basic steps and how do we how can we move to the final data product, building a final data product. Okay, okay, so this was in a general overview, like what are the steps, and so in the next slide I will just give an like on the business side or like on the technical side in the IT world, like what we say on these terminologies and what are the different life cycle, like what is the life cycle of a data science, right? Okay, so it all starts with the business understanding. Okay, so first one need to understand the business. Okay, that is the major challenge in whatever field or area you work on. Okay, so you need to come up with asking like relevant questions. Okay, you need to define what are your objectives, right? What is the objectives of the problem, and like that needs to be tackled. Okay, so what is business asking you to do? Okay, or what the business is trying to focus on, right? Okay, so it all start with the business understanding. Okay, so once we are done with understanding and like what is the problem and what needs to be done, okay, so then we move on to the data mining step. Okay, so here what we do is like we just gather the data and we scrap the data that is not necessary and that is necessary for the project. We just we come up with a clean set of we will try to come up with a clean data. Okay, okay, so for that one we need to we move to the third stage here, like it is a data cleaning stage. Okay, so once we are done with all the data pull and extraction and all those, then we just do the data cleaning on a more refined level. Okay, we will fix the like whether there are some inconsistency within the data or okay, or there are some missing values. We will just go back to the business understanding and then data mining and then again pull that kind of information that is missing. Okay, so once we have the clean set of data, then we start exploring. Okay, so then again, when exploring the data, like we will form some hypothesis, we will form some assumptions, right, about okay, how like about your problem definition, and by visually analyzing the data. Okay, then there is a concept here like in companies like feature engineering. Okay, so what they do is like they just select the important features and construct more meaningful from the raw data. Okay, so even like we have the correct set of data and something, but again, like for specific business needs, they come up with feature engineering to extract the exact features from the data. Okay. Okay, so now once we have this all this data and although, then we use a predictive modeling. Okay, so what we do is like we will train machine learning models. Okay, we will evaluate their performances and we can use them to more predictive. Okay, because this predictive modeling is a like a very good feature these days and very in like much demand, like okay, because we have a data, but again we should be able to predict the overall like a future analysis and the future predictions on based on the current set of data. Okay, then the final is like the data visualization, which is the final step and very important, right? We should communicate the findings with all the key stakeholders. Okay, when we say key stakeholders is like business executives or the okay, so which actually use that data to make future plannings, and then okay, so okay, so that will be useful for, and then for data visualization we can use like interactive visualization charts or like some other BI component tools. Okay, there are many data visualization techniques, and then their reporting and all those. So okay, so this is a typical data science cycle, if you can relate to this one, right? Starting from the business understanding, then we go to data mining, and then data cleaning it, and then exploring the data, and then this feature engineering added recently, then we have the predictive modeling, and then we have the final data visualization. Okay, so at the end what we need is like from business understanding we need to show the data at the end, like what is expected from the business at the end of the day. Okay. Okay, so and in the next slide, like what I've done is like I just come up with an like a overall diagram, like where we can see like what are the scope of data science, and like where we can apply those where we can apply this data science tools and techniques. Okay, okay, so on the like on this circle, like you can see like there are like a major techniques, like which can be like a domain expertise, like you can become a domain expertise, or you can do a business analysis, then you can do a stakeholder management, and then a storytelling ability. Okay, so these are all the important like applications or scope where you can use your data science skills to deliver results. Okay, and in this inner circle, like if you see, we have like a different areas where this can be applied. This okay, so you can do it like a data mining, then you can do it via machine learning, and then AI is the most popular these days. Okay, and then data visualization, and then big data solution engineering, and then as we mentioned, like there are some data analytics, exploratory data analytics, and then modeling and prescriptive analytics, statistics. Okay, so these are all the like the latest trend, like what is available in the data science area. Okay, where you can where you can build up your skills, and so it may be possible like you can work on any of the one or two, or like you can work on most of these. Okay, but again, to become a like a good data scientist, you should be aware of like most of the stuff here. Okay, so you should be able to, you should have a domain expertise, and then you should do a business analysis, like not on a detailed one, but again it should be on an overall brief side, like you should be aware of the business, what it is doing, and okay, okay, and then you should be able to understand the stakeholder, right? What the business need, what executive needs, so that can be so that you can deliver what they are expecting. Okay, so this is a like a typical application areas or scope of the data science these days. Okay. Okay, now like the most important thing, like what key things like data scientists do. Okay, so we have heard about like what about data science and all those. So, but what exactly they do, right? So, okay, so these are like five common, five important areas or things like what data scientists provide their expertise to. Okay, so first one, if you see, is like the experiment design. Okay, so this is like most important because you should be able to experiment with the design, and once you have the data, you should be able to experiment and create new designs with the clean set of data. Okay, so that it can be useful for the business. Okay, so it may be possible like you need to work on 2-3 designs, or like it will keeps on iterating until unless the final design has been uh, agreed upon, right? Okay, and then the second one is like using the statistical modeling and mathematics. Okay, so this is something important because once the data is in, you should be, what data scientist will be doing is like he will be modeling the data. That is like the one of the most important characteristic of data scientist, right? So, and he will be applying mathematics. Okay, so it can be like he will be applying mathematics or the subject area expertness. Okay, they can do the business knowledge, they can provide business knowledge into it. Okay, so, and again they do, what they do is like the data mining. That is the important thing. Okay, they need to mine the data. Okay, once the data is there, they need to keep refining it and make sure like the data is as expected and required by the business. Okay, and another thing they usually data scientists work on is on domain research. Okay, so once, because again like as I mentioned, like everyone can't work on each and everything, right? So he need to be like the person need to be keep researching on the domain which he is working on, or which he is he's supposed to support, right? Okay, so domain research is very important thing. Okay, so because if I see my field, like I'm into the business analytics kind of domain. So I just need to keep refining and keep searching for like a new business models, and like I keep organizational changes, and okay, so these kind of things you need to keep working on, and it will be an ongoing process. So okay, so once everything are done, then the main important thing is the visualization. Okay, so you should have the ability to visualize the data, model the data, to show the data in a correct format, and that is expected by the business. Okay, so these are the five key things like which I believe like the data scientists are doing, and uh, they should be like they should have an expertise on all these things. Okay, so they should be able to experiment the design, they should do the modeling, they should do the data mining. Okay, and then the domain research is very important, keep on doing the research. And then finally the visualization, to use some visualization tools and techniques to finally deliver the data product. Okay, so these are the key things which I assume like data scientists should be doing. Okay. Okay, so now we have heard like a lot of about data science, and like there are like we have heard about business domain, and then we have about like okay, so okay, so just wanted to show like where does a data scientist stand in. Okay, it's like so if you see like this is the diagram which has come up. So if you see, there is a data engineer on the left hand side. So data engineer does nothing but again like he extract the data, and save the data in some warehouses and all those. Okay, so then comes the role of a data scientist in the so once the data is there, then what data scientists do is like he prepare the data. Okay, and then he builds the models. That's what we understood from the previous slides, building the models. Okay, and then they train the models. Train again, like it is like a continuous pulling the data and then refining the data, and then make sure the existing model is working fine. If it is not, then again redefine the data. Okay, so it's basically like training the data models again and again, and that kind of that kind of scenario. Okay, so once this data scientist is out here, then like once the models and all those are ready, then it passes to the business analysis. Okay, So business analysis do nothing but they just look at the more trained models and see, okay, whether it's fulfilling the business criteria and whatever the executives and the business community is asking. So okay, so what I said is like data scientists should also be should aware of the domain expertise, right? There should be domain knowledge. Okay, so data scientists also communicate with business analysis to make sure like he's pulling that the correct set of data and then the models are fine or not. Okay. So once this business analysis done, then they evaluate, okay, the data model is fine and the data visualization is good. Then they go ahead and then they deploy in production or deploy in the next set of environment. Okay, then the role of application developer comes. They will use the existing set of models, and then they will just redefine it and then just make changes depending on the requirements, and then again it's a continuous here, like it will be a continuous cycle of monitoring the data and monitoring the models and then deploying. Okay, so if you see like if the data scientist role here, like he did most of the things here, like preparing the data, build the model, and then train and uh, and he creates a data in such a set that can be reused by the application developer team and the DevOps team, so that they can continuously refine it and you present it to the executives. Okay, so this is a like a team sport. Okay, so it's not like a data scientist can do things of it alone, but it's like a team effort. And but again, this is just to show like where does a data scientist stand in the overall development cycle. Okay. Okay, so now comes this interesting slide. Okay, so that will be, I think, most helpful for all the participants, like who are I think working on the graduation or the post graduation kind of things. Okay, so what is the state of the data scientist? Like what exactly they need, and this is the latest figures I have taken it from somewhere. So okay, just to come up with like what exactly it needs to be a data scientist. Okay, okay, so if you see like on the right and on the left hand side, like the top educational backgrounds like which a data scientist like we are looking for is like they should be like from a computer science background, or like they can be from business administration, like okay. And then if the person has an statistical background or mathematics or physics is also an important education background that is considered for a data scientist. Okay, so these are like the top five. So you can see like the computer science and the business admin, those comes up at the top two as a the preferred educational background for the data scientist, because due to the skill set or the prerequisite required for a data scientist. Okay. Okay, so once you have this education background, then again you should have some primary skills for that is required for a data scientist person. Okay, so when we say top primary skills, because as I mentioned, like you should be a computer analyst, like a expert, right? Like maybe in a programming or data visualization or that kind of thing, right? So okay, so the top primary skills is like these are the top five one. Okay, so there can be many, but so the first one is the data analysis. Okay, so you should have the like the skills to analyze the data. Okay, so that is the foremost important skill set that is needed. Okay, then these are the again like the R is the like a programming language. Okay, so okay, so Python is again one of the important programming language. I think I'm not sure like you have heard about Python and all those, but that is one of the like a hot growing skill set that is required for a data scientist. Okay, Python, R, and okay, and the data mining again is again a whole together different stream. Okay, so so then there are again courses available for data mining, and then fifth one is the machine learning, right? So okay, so these are the top primary skills that is needed for a data scientist. Okay, so you need to focus on something on data analysis and learning some computer languages, like on the main is like the Python, R, but these are just related to the data science profession. Okay, so it's not like other like a Java or C or something, but again this is only focusing majorly on the data scientist profession. Okay. Okay, and then from this analysis, like highest education level, like that is preferred, like bachelor's, it's around like 20%, and like masters, they are focusing on like so until so you should have like a master's degree kind of thing, so that that will be helpful for in the data scientist profession. Okay, but again, I have seen many bachelors coming up, and then they taking up some data, like some they will start with some small data modeling, and then they will explore, research more, and then gain more certifications and all those while working in an organization, right? So by this you can jump to a master's degree, you can do a parallel master degree also. Okay, so by this your chances of like working on a data scientist project or for a company like that gets increases. Okay, and then again a PhD, if you can do that one, that is also a good thing to do. But okay, but again, like if you focus on like from bachelor's to masters and masters, I think that will be a good criteria for getting into a data scientist role. Okay, and then there is a like a trend, like because like the number of data scientists, if you see like the industry, like its last 4 years, if it's like a 2 times growth, right? So it's like a growth to a 200%, right? Something. So okay, so this is the requirement, and this is the market value which data scientists enjoy in the today's scenario. So okay, and again, as I mentioned, there are many fields and many opportunities in the data scientist overall profession. So okay, so and it is mentioned like the top industries are employing data scientists on a great scale. Okay. Okay, so this is just an I think a good overview on what you need, and like what you can focus on, and direct yourself towards achieving to get the data scientist job and profile. Okay. Okay, so okay, so then I just come up with a like a how to become a data scientist. That is like I think most common question for I think everyone in the call, right? So how do I become a data scientist? Like and because we have seen like what are the prerequisite and what scientists do and all those. So but again, like this is a simple like a 5-step, 4-step things like which but again each step is a like itself a big step in its overall perspective. So okay, so first is like first one is the like asking the right questions. Okay, so you should generate an ability to ask right questions, and looking up for like looking up from the domain expertise, and okay, so your question should be right, and you should get the answers, and then then only you can start looking into exploring the data science and then its tools and technology. Okay. Okay, then once you are done with like once you are have the habit of asking right questions, and start making the good modeling and all those, then okay, then you should fulfill all the like the data science prerequisites. Okay, so it's like you should build up an ability to become like a good statistician, like modeling the data, and then learn some good languages, like 1 or 2 will do, right? So okay, so but again you should have like a good understanding of the programming language. Okay, and the second and the third one is like you should like become a domain expert, like you should understand the domain which you are working in, right? So that is more important, because until unless you are not aware about like what you are doing, and for what you are doing, then until unless there is no use of working on a data science, right? So that is more important, fulfill the basic criteria of a data scientist. Okay, so once you are comfortable with all this, like okay, you learn a good language, and you should have a, like a data modeling also, you can started building up, right? So then take up some read like good books, okay, that's available in the market, right? So that will give a more like a more flexibility and more scope to your overall profile, right? So that is you need to look exploring to this one. Okay, so parallelly what you can do is like you can like once you have all this understanding and this, you can go for like applying a job, or like okay, you can look out for vacancies and all those, right? So parallelly what you can do is like you can go for data science certifications also, because there are a lot of certifications available in like AI, and then it's like machine learnings and all these languages which we have talked about, like a Python, R, and because certification surely add to your profile and your skill set, right? So those are important. Okay, but again, like it is always not necessary like you go for certification first and then go for job. Okay, because once you are in the job, you can also go for a certification, and depending on your role and scope, what you are doing in that organization. Okay, because organizations always helpful in getting you certified, and like they will pay for your certifications and all those. So that is more and again, like it's a hands-on experience, and then you can also work on the technologies which you have learned, you have certified for. So that is more realistic and more fulfilling in the real world, like a real environment, right? So okay, so this is the step, and then again you should do an application, like you should apply the data science. Once you have all the knowledge and all the background setup, then you can start working on, or focusing on other areas of data science. And okay, so because if I see my example, like I started with like a data developer, right? So but again, like as you grow and you keeps on getting projects, and you get more exposure with different people's working style and all those, and then what is the business requirement, so those keeps on increasing, and it helps you to grow. And okay, so it's not like you will become a data scientist in 1 year or something, but it will take many years to get to that role, and to have that expertise. Okay, so this was just an like a small cycle, kind of like how you can become a data scientist. So you can focus on where to start, and you have that prerequisite and defined, right, what to do and how to do. So that is okay. So on the right hand side, in the I just mentioned like the different three main criteria. Okay, so gain knowledge. Okay, so without gaining knowledge, you can't serves your client better, right? And then specialization again depends on your what again, like if you have a specific specialization or a specific choice, you can focus your you can narrow down your field of interest and find a unique service that is you are exceptionally good at. Okay, so you need to focus on your key strength and things to start with. Okay, and then the third like the most important, which sometimes we neglect, is like making the right connections. Okay, so you need to have a good network of connections. Okay, it may be like a good set of developers and the right connections, so that you are aware like what is happening in the market, and okay, so that you can benefit to your company, like you beneficial to your company. So okay, so this was on like how to become a data scientist, and what is the what you can do to improve, and you can start working on these things from early stage, so that you should have more exposure to the overall outside environment, right? Okay. Okay, so I just come up with this slide because many people have some confusion on like what is AI and data science and machine learning. Like these are all either like these are all interrelated, or okay, so there are like many confusion in like many people. So I just wanted to clarify, because this data science, because these are like part of a data science. So I just wanted to take some moment and clarify this one. Okay, so if you see like at the bottom, like we have this machine learning. Okay, so machine learning is like nothing, like these are an algorithms like that helps machines to improve like through supervised right, supervised, unsupervised, and learning, right? So it's all about like feeding data to machines so that they can work better and they can improve over time. Okay, but this machine learning, if you see, like it's just a subset of data science. Okay, so when we say about machine learning, it's just a subset of data science. We can't okay, so now if we go a little bit higher, then artificial intelligence, AI, that is the most like that is also a popular skills these days, right? So again, like AI is nothing but a technology for machines, right, for to understand, interpret, and learn, and to make intelligent decisions. Okay, so whatever we have done through machine learning, like we use that machine learning techniques to model the, like to do the artificial intelligence, AI kind of things. Okay, so it may include or it may not include machine learning, depending on fields to fields. But Okay, but again, machine learning is an like a part of AI. So now again, if we combine all this, so then it comes a data science. Okay, so data science basically it leverages both the machine learning and the AI kind of component, right? And then it will comes with their collecting the data, analyzing, and then it comes the overall make a statistical decisions for the business. Okay, okay, so that's why like a small comparison between that will give an idea. Okay, so AI is nothing but like machine learning is just a subset of AI, and then we have a data science in an overall structure. Okay. Okay, so this is something I came up with the career possibilities for a data science majors, or like okay, so like which industries like with a high demand for data scientists, and like and what are the various industries where we have that opportunity of working as a data scientist, right? Okay, so at the top, if you see like 41% of the data scientists usually work in the technology companies. Okay, so it's like a IT or related companies. Okay, so this is the most number of the most number of participants like which are encouraging to be part of their organization. So 41% scientists usually work in the technology stream. Then we have a percentages on marketing, then we have corporate setting, and then consulting business, and then we have healthcare, pharmaceuticals, then we have financial, government, and then academics, and then retail and consumer packaging products, gaming. Okay, so these are just to highlight like where all we have a requirement for data scientists, and who are employing, like what is the percentages of data scientists use in the uh, enroll in different type of companies. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is I believe like my final slide for the day. Okay, so this is again like I'm just exploring the scope of data science in an IT industry. Okay, so I'll just take one example. Okay, where I'm working in IBM, and okay, so that will give a clear picture like where I'm using this data science, and what kind of impact and what kind of reporting visualizations we do at the end. Okay. Okay, so on the right hand side, if you see, there is for an IT industry, like the one of the important thing is the supply and the resource management, right? So by providing, so that is something like you need to manage your whole resource population, right? By providing information to resource managers, like it will allow them to manage like their practitioner utilization, assignments, and the potential demands coming in. Okay, and then the overall operational compliance. Okay, so if you see like an employee with like around 4 lakh employees or something, right? So it's a very big data, and like many attributes that one needs to manage, right? Okay, and then this reporting and the data visualization like will be shared with the resource managers, right, who actually manages the resource. Okay, so the data should be clean, the data should be like there should not be any scrap data or like redundant data, right? So that they can manage their utilization like overall and their assignments, like where they are working on, and what is their future perspectives, and what is the potential demands coming in. Okay. So this was the one of the main area, like supply and resource management. Then there is a demand and capacity management. Okay, so by this one, like we provide visibility into current practitioner skill, right? Because again, like one need to be keep increasing their skills, right? Keep growing their skill set. Okay, so one of the main important concern for the organization is to see whether the latest skill set which an employee has that meets the existing requirements, or whether it will meets the another 2 or 3 years requirement or not, right? So they need to able to forecast the coming technologies and all the right the future technologies, and okay, so that okay, and they should expect the future resource need, right? So how many resources would be needed in like way in 2021, right? What will be the scenario in 2025, right? So these are kind of forecasting that management demand from a data scientist to provide that information in advance. So you should have that ability to pull that kind of information and then model the data and then come up with the final reporting like the visualizations, right? Okay, and then we have then operational metrics. Operational metrics are nothing but again like to run an organization, like we need an day to day, like it will be a weekly, daily, monthly, or like a quarterly kind of reporting, right? So that can be provided to the leadership, like with the information about practitioner, or it can be overall impact on the business. Okay, so these are day to day metrics which needs to be provided in order to run an organization effectively. Okay, so that company is not wasting resources or not optimizing resources, or okay, so that is something we need to be aware of. Okay, and the last and the important one is the bench management. Okay, because bench management is like a people not on a project, right? So that is a loss to a company, right? So we should be able to forecast that bench population. Okay, this might be a bench population coming in like a 3 months or the 6 months. Okay, so we need to utilize those resources into appropriate channels so that they can be like optimally used, right? So, and again, it should be an overall project from the overall project management also, that is very helpful for the bench management thing. So okay, so this is the overall like a four broad categories which I have come up with, like what scope we have in like a for the business domain, like which I am working on, like the supply resource management, demand capacity management, and then operational metrics, and then bench management. So that is very that is helpful for the organization to grow and mitigate any risk coming in future. So okay, okay, okay. So that's all from my side, like for this today's session. Like we covered, like I try to cover like most of the things, like for the relevant to the data science and that kind of thing. So okay, so yeah, thank you, thanks for listening patiently, like, listening to me, and I hope you enjoyed this session, right? So now I'm I just handed to Ria or Mahendra, right? So that they can come up with some questions, or anyone can come up with those. Okay, over to you, Ria or Mahendra. Or yep,
Yes, sir.
yep, yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
sir.
sir.
Very, very informative and very interactive session going on.
Thank you, thank you.
Definitely, student got a lot of information from this session.
Mhm.
So, so we have few questions as well, sir.
Okay, sure.
Definitely, and I also request to student, you can ask your question in the chatting box. So definitely I will and our expert will also give your answer of your question. Uh, just I get a few questions here. Uh, Sir, actually, most of the questions coming here, like the student are very curious to know about the career opportunities in this field of data science. Actually,
Okay, okay, yeah, that is the, I think that is the most, I think people like which they are I think interested in. So
yeah,
as I
yes,
mentioned, there are many industries where you can apply your like data scientist skills to. Okay, so it all depends, like your interest, like what you are like what are your strengths, and where do you want to explore your technical, like a technicalities, right? So if I start with, like there are many domains, like one is the IT industry, right? Technology is the major career opportunities for a data scientist, right? Then we have finance, then we have telecom, then we have bankings, and then we have AI. Okay, so there are many like a unlimited kind of opportunities for like a data scientist. And in the slide I also mentioned, like there are many different small, like a different sub areas where you can where data scientists can work on, like it can
yes,
be on machine learning, it can be on AI, or like it can be on statistical modeling, data visualization tool, or they can learn like a programming language like a Python or R, or okay, so these are the current ones like that are in demand. So then there are data visualization tools like Tableau, BI tools, Power BI. Okay, so the Hyperion, Brio, and okay, so these are Cognos. Okay, so there are these are the opportunities, one which like a resource can, or like a students can focus on. Okay. That is yeah.
yeah, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir. Sir, another question from the student Tushar. Uh, is it sir? It is necessary to learn a computer language like Python to become a data scientist.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Tushar. So yeah, I think that is a good question. So, so as I mentioned, like you need to learn one of the programming language. Okay. So whether you focus on Python or you focus on R, or whether it's Apache Spark or something. Okay. So, but again, like you need to learn a good programming language to build a career in data scientist, because what will happen in the once you are in an organization, what will happen is like you need to work on the data, and you need to pull the data, analyze it, and all those. So for that you need something good programming language to start on. Okay, so it not that be detailed one, but again you should have some basic knowledge to start working on. Okay, because when I started I didn't know much of the, but like a data scientist like a Python or this. But again, once you are in organization, you get an opportunity to learn all those things. Okay, so it's like a hands-on experience, and you can do the practical actually implementation of those languages. So okay, but again it will be good, like if you are planning to make a career in data scientist, then you should start working on Python. And Python is an open source, right? You can go and start working coding and all those. So okay, so that will be a good opportunity to for you to start exploring that area. Okay.
Definitely. Sir, we have another question. How BCA and BSc in computer science students advantage in placements?
Okay, so it's like a overall placement you are. Okay, so I think, yeah, so I'm also a placement hire, like okay, I got in 2005 I got a placement from
Definitely,
IBM.
sir.
So
Our student get the benefited from your side as well.
yep, exactly. So I think the main focus, first focus in your on your existing curriculum, right? So what you are studying, like a BCA and BSc, so you should focus on each and every subject like which you are studying. So
Yes.
apart from that, not only those subjects, you should start exploring some of the other areas like of your interest. Okay, so if you are on a programming language, or you work on a data visualization, some tools. Okay, so that kind of things you can start working on. And again, like if you focus on the company like which you are targeting to for work on, like, so you can focus on those companies strengths, like if you say IBM focuses on hybrid cloud and AI, so you can explore those areas and come up with at least having some background knowledge of those companies, so that once those companies are in, you can show that okay, I have already have those information. And okay, so that will be a good exposure, and good like it gives a good plus point on your side, right? So but again, academics is important. You need to score well, you need to work well, right? So that is important. Then go for parallelly go for some these other courses. And communication skill, that I will say, like that is the most important these days. So focus on communication skills, whether it's the speaking or writing, or both are important. Okay,
Yes.
because in the long run what you will do is like you need to speak, you need to write, right? So emails, communication, and all those, you need to chair meetings and all those, so that is more important. So this is a good time for like graduates, like for this 3 year 4 years. Okay, so you can just work on these skill set in between, so that because in organization you won't get time to improve those skills, right? Like you need, okay, so you need to focus on this time, so that it doesn't provide any hindrance to your career opportunities, or like while interviews. And be confident. Okay, so you do whatever you do, but again, do it confidently. So that is that is more important.
Definitely. Sir, we have another question. Is master degree is necessary for data scientist?
Yeah, master degrees, again, as I mentioned, like the master, because for graduates I think you need to get masters at like some of the time. But again, like I have seen many graduates like who do the certifications and then do specializations. Okay, so they don't need to go for a higher degree, but again, masters surely add a value to your career opportunities. Okay, and what I feel in IBM is like in career opportunity, because if you are in a big organizations, your like this education backgrounds also play sometimes an important role, like whether you are masters or you are a graduate or you are a PhD or something. So but again, like it's a combination of your skill and how you perform in an organization. So okay, so if you can go for a master, that is very good. And
Definitely.
but again, if you are doing like a graduate, but again you should accompany with that one with the higher skill set or some specialization. So that is more important.
Definitely. Sir, we have another question from our uh, HOD sir. Actually, question is what are the key responsibilities of business analyst and data scientist in industry?
Okay, business analyst. So business analyst, as I said, like business analyst is a person like who works primarily on the business domain, right? What business, like what a company is like focusing on, what their current business is. Okay, so if a company is working on a like a hybrid cloud and AI, then the business analysis will focus on how they can explore those areas, right? How they can make more money out of those areas. So business analysts, they just come up with the business requirements, and then how they foresee the future, like how it will be going in coming years. So that is their main focus on business analysis. But again, from the data scientist, if you see, their main role is to provide the final reporting, data visualization, so that can be helpful to business analysts, right? So that they can use those reporting data more visualization to show to the management and come up with their future planning. So that is the major difference between analyst and the scientist. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sir. Sir, we have another one question also here. Only BCA degree or BSc Computer Science degree is sufficient to make their career in data science field, or need to any certification or specialized course?
Okay, so I think I already covered this one. So yeah, as I said, like only a graduate degree won't do. But again, like if you are supporting it with a good certification, or and again a certification which you believe like you can explore that potential, right? Okay, so that will be helpful. Okay, but again, only a graduate degree, I believe like that will be not be that much sufficient. Okay, so either you need to supplement it with some good certification courses, or you need to go for a higher like a master's or something to make it work. Okay.
Okay, sir. Actually, in this meeting we have MBA student as well in this
Okay.
meeting. So,
Okay.
and how they can benefit it from this field, data science? Actually, we have a MBA
Okay.
and MBA business analytics specialized student as well here.
Okay, so I think that is a MBA with a business analytics specialization. That is a good combination for a data scientist. Okay, so I think in like in some of the slides I mentioned like domain expertise, like so that is the main objective of the business analyst and the like the business administration field. Okay, so that is a great opportunity for something who is working on like a BBA or MBA kind of thing, right? So that is surely a good because we have like many BAs, like we have 2 3 BAs like who are especially focusing and working with our team and with other teams also. So that is a good career opportunity for a resource to work on. Okay, so but again, as I mentioned, but you need to focus on what you are working on, and again, getting all the domain knowledge of all the subjects is not possible. So we try to focus on like which technology or like which business you are working on, like working for, like whether it's a finance or communication or anything. So basis on that, I think you can go ahead and try to explore. Okay. But again, like this BBA, MBA, like that's a good field for a data scientist to work in. Yeah.
Okay, sir. That's good. Sir, we have one very important question.
Okay, tell me.
Sir, any course offered by IBM where Prestige can tie up with you, sir?
Okay, yeah, that is a tricky question. Okay, so again, like IBM usually tie up with many colleges and many institutes. Okay, so but again, that depends on the like a different, because they have some different criteria and prerequisites to fulfill. So okay, because I've been part of some of these like one or two, but again, recently I didn't work with any of the institute as such. So okay, so what I can do is like I can just get back to our management. Okay, so because that is a good actually option, because the company usually go and do the recruitments and all those. So okay, so I will just look into that one. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And one more question here, Raza. What is the difference between a data analyst and data scientist? Okay, I think it is already covered.
Yeah.
Can you say something more about?
Okay, so data scientist and analyst, right? So
Yes, sir.
data analyst is a person like who usually uses the data visualization tool to show the data. Okay, but again, if you see the data scientist, like they use like a programming language and then combined with some data visualization, and so they usually work on the complete set of data to render the final product, right? But data analyst only works on the structured and the unstructured kind of data to just model the data and come up with their analysis. Okay, and data analysts usually solve the data analysis level kind of structured and non-structured kind of piece of information, whereas data scientists usually work on the whole set of data from end to end. So that is a major difference between the scientist and analyst. Okay.
Okay, sir. The last question here, can we get opportunity to interact with you in offline classes?
Okay,
Actually,
so yeah, that offline classes is again like yeah, we have like a lots of offline classes like from IBM. So, but again, like that is only restricted to IBM employees and the contractors like who work for the IBM. But okay, so that is something I can provide information, because there are like many free courses available or like a free certifications available over. Okay, so that is supported by IBM, like some of the tools and technologies. So okay, so I need to do that. I already have some of the links out there, but again, I will share with you so that you can mostly on the open sources, and all those I think you can start looking into and enrolling in those courses and get some accreditations or badges or like small certifications to start with. So that will help you to add those in your curriculum on your CV, and then give value to your overall career. Okay.
okay, okay, sir. Now I think questions around this going to end. Okay,
Yeah.
because we have a lot of questions, but it cannot be fulfilled today. So Ria, can you start?
Yes, sir. First of all, Uncle Sir, it was a very informative session. With your diagrams, it was very easy to understand. So thank you for that, sir. Now moving on. Now I would like to call Mr. Professor Mahendra Yadav, sir, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Ria. Uh, actually, I feel extremely privileged to propose a vote of thanks. I would like to extend a very special thanks to our eminent speaker, Mr. Anku Jain, data scientist, IBM India Private Limited, for taking his valuable time out of his very busy schedule and blessing the occasion with his presence. Further, I would like to express my gratitude to our very own director, Sir Dr. Nishant Joshi, and Deputy Director, Ma'am Dr. Tarika Singh, for providing us the encouragement and support to organize this webinar. Next, I would like to thank Head of the Department, Professor Nitin Padia, sir, all the faculty members and attendees who make this event successful. Also, I would like to acknowledge my gratitude to all the student volunteers for their contribution, as no program can become successful with a single person. So I extend my big thanks to whole PIMC family. Thanks again for making this webinar a success. Thank you once again, all of you. Uh, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Mahendra. Thank you, Prestige Institute of Management. Thank you. Thanks for listening, and hope this session helps to you. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much again. Uh, okay, now we are going to end this session. Uh, thank you, Ria.
Thank you so
So,
much, sir, for giving me the opportunity.
so I
Thank you
think
so much, every teacher present here, faculty members, and all these students.
now I think we should end the meeting now.
Sure, sir.